everybody, this is Nemo060 here with you once again. I'm doing something a little bit different here, although I'm at the same time jumping on a bandwagon because I'm going to answer Shockofgod's question about a proposition, really, to give proof and evidence that atheism is true and correct. Now, first of all, I want to make a little disclaimer. If you are not interested in hearing any notions or you do not want any concept of God or any deities debunked, then please stop watching this video now. I am not here to pressure people into atheism, so to speak. I am not here to completely destroy a person's personal notion of deities, which is part of their personal life but is not implemented on anybody else. I normally only argue in private debates, but in this thing I think I should perhaps give a bit of philosophy and also give a bit of education on how science and psychology works. I am normally more interested in defending science and, defending reason when it comes into effect on people's day-to-day lives, but this is not exactly the case. So, if you do not want to hear this, if you don't want to listen to any of this, please stop watching now. Okay, here it goes. My proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct is more on the lines of probability. Because nothing is ever absolutely certain, we can only say what is reasonably certain and what we have reasonable doubt for, and what explanations are most reasonable and therefore are most likely to be true. And this explanation is going to give a good solid basis for why I think that scientific naturalism is the right way to go and what is most likely true when explaining the universe and the world around us without the use of anything supernatural. I call it argument from Peradolia. We know that humans are prone to project the features of humans onto other objects, making us think that these features are human when they are not. The face on Mars, the Shroud of Turin, Jesus appearing on a tortilla, all these are perfect examples of this. We recognise human features, which was originally a survival mechanism for us recognising ourselves and recognising safety. Thus, it makes sense to humans to explain complicated concepts in the world around us through anthropomorphizing them and presume that it was created by someone, considering that humans have the ability to artificially create objects. And we are, quote-unquote, personal beings in that social interaction and concepts of ethics are an essential part of our evolution and survival, because it keeps our group stable, and we are a species that relies on one another and group activity to stay alive. Considering that all mythologies in all of human history and all religions have done exactly this and attributed forces that are beyond our control to gods, angry humanoid deities that control these forces. The concept of violence and anger are two of these prominent in human emotions. For example, the reaction of a volcano is the result of the clash between Zeus and the Titans, with Typhon being out of the volcano and the volcano being down into the depths of Tartarus, where those who have committed crimes in life are punished in the afterlife, and that fits in with our concept of human justice. But justice is also a social tool, because justice means that those who work for the detriment of our group have themselves detrimental effects, and thus if they wish to survive, then they are going to be working alongside us and not against us, and so it is in their best interest to work with the benefit of the group and not just themselves, as much as it is for us. If we combine this knowledge about human psychology to the track record of scientific naturalism and that all major developments in human history are working out things by analysing the natural world, which is a part of human psychology that attributes complicated forces and processes to intelligent and independent minds, often social beings to an extent just as we were social. It is therefore reasonable to suggest that the concept of the Christian God, even if it's just the notion of an abstract quote-unquote mind, is a projection of human psychology on the world around us. And so it is more reasonable to trust scientific naturalism than presuming supernatural anthropomorphic principles onto creating the world around us. Now, I want to make clear that atheism itself is simply a lack of disbelief in gods. You may call it a belief that there is no God. However, this is only a rewording, and often a loaded rewording, to presume that it's assumed on faith, or that atheism is a religion when it is not. We are simply denying the claims based on more reasonable claims, and the fact that we do not find the arguments in favour of God to be reasonable to begin with. Scientific naturalism follows on from atheism, and just like secular humanism is an atheistic philosophy, however, atheism itself is not a whole philosophical concept. It is merely a simple concept and a base concept itself that can be applied to other concepts such as scientific naturalism, and thus this is evidence in favour of scientific naturalism and atheism, and it is in a sense evidence against the notion that there are gods and deities that have created our world. Again, I'm not talking in absolutes here. I cannot reasonably say that there is certainly no God, just as I cannot reasonably say that there certainly is. However, as this argument has shown, I think it is reasonable to presume that there is most likely no gods, and that it is more likely that our universe is the process and result naturalistic processes which is currently ongoing. We may not know everything about the world so far, but we sure as hell will do not get anywhere by presuming that it was supernatural magic. Any critiques about this idea and anything you want to throw in? Throw it in the comment section. I would love to get a discussion going over this. Thank you for listening. This is NoMotorsXO, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.